All right, folks, ladies and gentlemen, an all-new episode you don't want to miss. It's a big one. Nelson Torres here along with the goddess of music herself, Caroleen.
Yo.
And we have a very special guest.
Yes, actually a legend.
Well, when you say special, you mean like short bus special?
Yeah.
Yes.
I left my hockey helmet at home. I'm sorry, fellas.
Like pineapple
Excuse me,
like pineapple on pizza special.
Oh,
Yes.
don't say that.
And it's okay to call him a douche, Steve
Yeah,
Grillo.
100% you can call me a douche all day long.
Yes, the one and only Steve Douche Grillo.
And we'll explain to all about the douche stuff in a bit. But Steve, it's an honor for you to be here.
Actually, you know that whole story that took place like just 10 blocks from here.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that too. So with
Nice.
that, WTF TV starts now. All right. Coming to you from the Hudson Yards, Eventide Square in New York City, where everything is happening. Anything that happened here, we have a very special guest here tonight coming on in just a few moments. All right, Nelson Torres this week, as always, ladies and gentlemen. Joining along with me is Caroleen Stewart.
Hey there, hi there, how's your ho there? This is Caroleen Stewart, and the city's so nice they named it twice, New York, New York. Not that far from the Jacob Javits Center, and not that far from the center of the universe, that is Times Square.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have here a very special guest. Once again, we have the one and the only Steve Grillo.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi. I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Oh, really? No, it's an honor. I appreciate
It's an
you.
absolute honor for you to be here.
I appreciate that. It's very flattering. I'm like Dante from Clerks.
My favorite movie of all
Although
time.
I should give out a big shout out to my boy Brian O'Halloran, who was nice enough to read the book and give me a nice compliment on the book. But he's also on that new show on Fox, the Floor,
Yes.
Oh, wow.
which is airing I think kind of right now. And he's just a very good friend, a very smart person, and he's always been nothing but nice to me. So big ups to Brian O'Halloran. Not
Awesome.
supposed to be here
Special
today.
shout
All right, I appreciate you here, Steve.
Yeah.
And actually, this is not your first appearance on the show. You've been here before. The last time you were here, actually, you were here when the show was live. We were on 59th Street at the time.
Yes, our
that
little
legendary.
home.
Talk about legendary.
Yeah, I miss it so much. But
Yeah, we were live, and we had the champion, big time Jason.
Oh,
former-
yeah.
That guy. Remember him?
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. Like, I love your connection to professional wrestling. And oddly enough, the guy that I co-wrote the book with, Jason Huza, wrote a play. It's a rock opera for professional wrestling called The Last Match.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it was in Queens somewhere, right?
Yeah. And
I couldn't go that night.
my
It's kind of
bookmark. I gotta
amazing
watch
that I
it.
love the fact that you have that connection. And, maybe next time I'll have he couldn't be here tonight, but next time I'll have him on. Just because you guys have the professional wrestling thing. He's so cool. And he got professional wrestlers that are singers. Like, how do you get those giant guys that could take you and throw you across the ring, and then they really got great voices? It's pretty amazing.
You're like a freaking tenor over here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you whipped my ass by a baritone. Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah.
That is wild. So, Steve, now for those who don't know who Steve is, and
There's a lot of people, but you will.
Yeah, you will.
Soon enough.
You were actually a intern for Howard Stern many years ago.
Howard.
Oh, don't say many too many times.
Yes.
The Howard Stern. And for those who don't know what that is, the Howard Stern Show was a absolute mecca for nighttime TV. At least for me, it was, and it was an absolute honor watching that show.
Well,
I'm just saying.
and it was for so many people, just not anymore. I unfortunately, I was lucky enough to be there from 91 to almost 1998.
Wow.
It was after 98, and I got to experience some of the most amazing, groundbreaking radio that was ever created in God's green earth.
Now, speaking of which, and like you said, you've done it since the 90s, and obviously
Yes.
you're seeing this now because we have the technology. What is your thoughts at knowing that this is so advanced now?
It's so advanced. It would have made my life a lot easier back in the day because there was a lot of research that we had to be done that was actually where I had to go to a newspaper and actually read something.
Yeah, remember those?
Yeah, where now you could just pick up your phone and everything that is it's
Yeah.
just so accessible.
Yeah.
It would have been a different world. But back then, when things happened, it happened live and it happened for real, and there was no bullshit or phoniness about what happened. And it was just an amazing, just shitstorm of perfectness. You know what I'm saying? Like the amount of like the just like between Jackie the Joke Man, Fred Norris, Robin
Yes.
Quivers,
Yes.
Howard Stern, like even Scott the Engineer, Billy West. There was all these like great people that were perfect. Like Mike Ganji, and then the E Crew came in. It was like Scott Einziger and Doug Goodstein and Mike Ganji. We all were part of making history, and it was such an amazing time in my life. I was so lucky. I was so young.
And not for nothing, I was one of those viewers myself as a teenager, even in high school, I would say.
Yeah.
And that was something I don't think it ever be replicated at this
It really
point.
cannot.
It was just, I literally just got out of high school. Like, I was literally like a
Fresh.
freshman in college at Hunter. I got in because of wrestling, and then I found out that 600 Madison Avenue was down the block.
Oh my God.
when I found out that 600 Madison Avenue was down the block, I literally, like Howard was on the air, and he was like, send your letters to 600 Madison Avenue, and I was like,
Wait, I know where
whoa. I'm on Lexington, Madison. And so I literally got up out of class and I walked down Madison Avenue and walked into 600 Madison Avenue. And the day I walked through those doors, it changed my life.
Nice.
Wow.
That's just-
Yeah, that is class. I mean, like, submitting your internship, resume
Yeah.
through that, especially saying it on the air. Hey, submit your emails. I mean, there was no emails then.
None.
No.
He didn't say anything about emails yet. It was just like I just found
No,
out
you
where the address was.
Said,
Yeah.
you had to send a physical letter.
Right, you have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
But then
send
it wasn't until
copies.
like maybe like a month or so later where I did hear they were looking for interns, and now I was a fan. Like I was listening to my in my senior year in my car. Like there goes the late bell, and I'm still in the car. Go to commercial. Damn it! I couldn't stop listening, and then all of a sudden I used to hear Ganji and Stuttering John on there, and I'm like, yo, if those motherfuckers could do that, so can I. Yeah, who the hell are they, man? You know?
Good, I can do it better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
well,
you know what?
I guess John got a startup with like Ganji, who was became my roommate for 5 or 6 years, who was the most wonderful person on the planet. I was like, well, why if Ganji's there, why can't I be there? And then I found out that they were down the block, and I was like, oh,
this.
shit.
Yeah.
Going.
Yes,
So-
exactly. Like I said, I said, they didn't do emails. They even had LinkedIn then. So this is how.
LinkedIn, nothing. That was a phone call.
No.
So a phone call or even like a physical letter. That's
Sweetie, we
one.
have phone books.
No,
okay?
but like, well, that's sort of like the story. I again, all this, I can't believe I'm promoting a book. I fucking wrote a book.
You have a
Yes.
book, but we're going to talk about
yeah,
that.
Yeah, no,
Very
but
soon.
this is all in the book. I originally, when I heard, I sent a professional resume. Like one of my aunts was like, a secretary. I went to her house. She wrote this, like, she printed out, not even printed. She typed up this like professional resume.
Yeah.
That I dropped off, and I went down and I dropped off at the radio station, and then I didn't hear anything.
Nice.
And I got I was annoyed, but that was like sort of the end of my freshman year, and then at the beginning of my technically freshman second year,
Yeah,
like
freshman, sophomore.
I heard that they were looking again. It was like in the fall. So this time I decided I was going to do a little something different, a little something real. So I hand wrote a letter in my spiral notebook, and I misspelled things and did everything possible that can make it look pathetic.
Yes.
In hopes that maybe the professional one didn't go well the first time. Maybe my pathetic second chance will help me get to the next level. And I ripped it out of the spiral notebook, kept all the phrase on it. So like when you ripped it out, remember the spiral
Yeah.
notebook?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
just like, it was like, and I stuffed it into an envelope, and I went down to 600 Madison, and I dropped it off
Yeah.
at Nancy, the receptionist. And,
Wow.
2 days later, I told my sister's like 6 years younger than me, and this was like, so I was like, if somebody calls, please. I was very nice about it. I love my little sister. Like,
Yes, yes.
But I was very nice about it. Hi, Patricia. We just got into an argument anyway. So I was,
Yeah.
I had that like literally before we got
Yeah,
here.
you
But
guys
anyway,
are siblings.
no, there's much love between me and my sister. So I said, just do me a favor. Like, if someone calls, could you just please write down
The number.
Right
the
down
number?
the
of
number.
Yeah,
where it is?
right.
And I'll never forget. Because I can't tell you what happened last week. I don't. Is today Thursday?
No, today is
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Today is
It's
Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
Something
Oh,
like
okay,
that.
well, so it's not. So it's
Yeah.
only Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's only Tuesday. You're
okay.
close.
So that's the joke, but you get what I'm saying. I can still recall exactly because I lived in Canarsie, Brooklyn. I wasn't allowed to have a leather jacket.
Oh, really?
Well, because I was going to get jumped. You're going to get robbed if you had a leather jacket.
Oh, that was a different time.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, no, but just and so my friend's mother worked at Alexander's at King's Plaza.
Oh, wow.
and she got like a 45% discount. And there was this dope ass 3/4 length leather jacket that was on sale from like $350. That I got it for like $50.
Wow.
So I came home rocking that leather 3/4 leather jacket because now I'm in college. There's nothing my mother could do to tell me I can't have a leather jacket anymore.
Right.
So I walked in rocking that leather coat, and I said, "Did anybody call?" She goes, "Oh, I think somebody called." I said, "What do you mean you think someone called?" Like that? Who called? She goes, "Some guy."
What guy?
I was like, "What guy?" She was like, "I think his name was Gary."
Ah!
I go, "Did you take a fucking number?" She goes, "No. I asked you one goddamn thing." So there I am screaming at my little sister. And I never forget, she was on the recliner chair. And I jumped on her and I grabbed her by the shoulders. "Are you sure it wasn't Gary? This is..." And my mother just grabbed me by the back of the hair when I had it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if you remember, but
Yeah,
the
just-
back of your hair,
Yeah.
at the very base of your neck, man, you're just like a kitten. You're just like paralyzed.
Right.
Oh, I know when I had hair, but I know what you
Yeah.
mean.
And my
So-
mom's like, "Get the flying fuck off your sister. Who do you think?" Turns out it was Gary Delabate.
Oh, Gary Delaponte, known as Baba Booey.
And that was the phone call that changed my life. That almost didn't happen. Because
Wow.
My little sister was lazy.
That
And
is
I was
wild.
at Alexander's buying my first 3/4 length dope ass leather jacket.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, so from those years that you were on the Stern Show, you actually appeared as well too, not just being an intern.
I didn't go on there to be famous. I just knew while I was there that this was the place, this was the joint.
Yes.
Well, almost every staff member was on the air
Yeah,
somehow.
dude, I really didn't like getting embarrassed in front of 20 million people on a daily basis. It was not fun. Like, some people did. They got off on it. I didn't. I just wanted to do a good job, and I just knew how lucky I was to be there. And I just wanted to stay there and do a good job and stay as long as I possibly could.
Now, out of all the years that you have been there, who was your favorite guest?
That's a tough one. And it goes down to, like, almost like old school comedians.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say possibly... God rest they're all fucking dead now. Richard Simmons.
Oh, yes.
Richard Simmons, when he came in the room, he literally filled the room with joy and happiness. He was the epitome of gay. He was obviously
Because what you
gay,
see
but
is what you get.
Yeah, but his joy and caring and loveliness filled the room. He'd come in and sit on your lap. He'd bring a basket of bagels. I remember he used to come in, like, it wasn't like giving like a bag of bagels. It was like a wicker basket full of bagels and stuff. And he was just, and he filled the room and he would just run around and good morning everybody. He knew everybody's name. There was Pat Cooper.
Pat Cooper. I remember Pat Cooper.
Pat Cooper was one of my favorites because he happened to like me, but he was just so angry, and Howard just knew how to get underneath the skin, and it was so funny.
And yeah, he would get so angry just the littlest things. I remember that.
Possibly the funniest person ever, who we literally couldn't even answer the phones because we were hysterical laughing in the back. We couldn't breathe. Was fucking Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, that's another one.
Yeah.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Why'd you have to go? Why?
Yeah, I know, but I'm friends with his wife. I've known Gilbert for so long. We actually dated one girl we sort of saw the same girl.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's in the book.
Nice.
And
See, everything is in the book.
Gilbert would come in, and he was so weird. He'd have his backpack on, and he'd be, "Oh, hi, how are you? Good morning. Yeah." And then he goes, "So two Jews go into a bar." He turned it off. And a Jew, a Catholic, and a black guy goes into the bar, and the bartender says, "What is this, a fucking joke?"
That sounds like a Gilbert Gottfried joke there.
And he did Dracula Gottfried, like shit like that. We were just like in the office. We couldn't even pick up the phone because we were hysterical laughing. Like Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, he would say, "Hello there."
Now looky here.
Yeah, exactly. He would do shit like that, man.
I was so sad that he passed. I couldn't believe that he actually got married and had his kids. I follow his wife on all social media, and the kids. She's sort of backed away a little bit since his passing, but it was like his son looked just like his son was just like him. You know what I'm saying? And they both have they have his personality. And but Gilbert, and I wrote that because I worked at this restaurant called Brunelli's.
Oh wow!
And it was on the 75th in York, and it was pretty much At that point, it was like a mafia restaurant.
Yeah.
At some point, in its heyday, it had, because I got Tony Bennett's daughter to sing there. So, like, all these, like,
Another
all these
legend.
heavy hitters started hanging out there. So one night, Gilbert came in with a bunch of people from The Sopranos. It was like, these are all people I work with because I was Anthony Jr.'s stand-in. So there was my
Yeah,
buddy.
I was about to say, speaking of which, you were the stand-in for,
Yeah.
Robert Eiler, which is AJ Soprano.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was that experience, by the way?
Well, we'll get to that in a second.
Oh.
That was a lot of fun. I know, but like Jeff Marchetti and Vinny Pastore came in, and somehow or another Gilbert Gottfried was tagging along for a free meal because he was definitely a cheap Jew. There's no.
Oh, yeah, Gilbert Gottfried had a reputation
Oh,
of
yeah.
being cheap.
No, he was extremely cheap.
Hey.
That and Ron Jeremy, but...
Oh, well, we
Yeah.
can get into that too. He's in the book.
Ah!
So, but Gilbert's standing there, and I go, and I knew, I fucking like, Gilbert, look around, man. He's like, what? I go, you see that guy over there? That guy did 30 years for keeping his mouth shut. See that guy over there? That guy's a murderer. I said, you better not step on anybody's shoes in here, man, because he'll put you right in the trunk. Ooh. like, they were all my friends, and it was all true. But, like, there was some heavy hitters there, but when I told him that, he was like, he didn't stay too long after that. He took his free meal and he left.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm
Like, I
surprised he
got a
didn't
thing.
pack it up.
I got a thing in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but Gilbert was, he was definitely someone that complete opposite if you met him on the street. Oh.
Yeah, I can imagine that because I heard he had a reputation of walking from where he lived in Chelsea to the studio without taking the subway or nothing, just to avoid paying just to get there.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
like I said, I dated somebody that like was at his apartment. She said that he had a closet full of pennies.
Wow.
Like
A closet full of pennies.
Yeah, like
Closet full
rolled
of
up pennies,
pennies.
like a closet full. And then he was paying like $250 a month in rent because he was it was rent controlled.
Well, yeah.
So then when they found out that he was a multimillionaire, actor,
They were like, oh, hell.
you're out of here, bro.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, hey, guys,
Yeah.
how
I
could you
mean, I
keep...
think they got the hit when he did Aladdin.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly. You're a parrot. Like, Affleck.
Yeah,
Yeah. Affleck the money right here, motherfucker.
Exactly. I got the Affleck right
So, but
here.
eventually they figured out that he was making millions and paying $250 in rent.
Well, that's
But much
wild.
respect to Gilbert. God rest his soul. I
Oh,
can't
yes,
believe he passed away.
please.
Oh, did you ever watch that one documentary they did about that one joke that went on forever? And Gilbert just like
Milked
he just took it to another level where there is no human being should ever think
milked
like
it to
that.
the
Yeah,
Cowboy
because
Drive.
it's like if one joke turned into something a totally different thing.
And then they brought in the Cool Whip. Like it was like where is this coming
my
from?
You gotta love Gilbert. Shout out
But
to.
yes.
Yeah. So
Let's-
so favorite guest. Of course I can go, but he wasn't on a frequent guest. But like Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
I'm a big Star Wars fan. The fact
Yeah.
that when he came on, he knew who I was. I almost literally blacked out.
Nice.
I mean, like by listening to the show, of course, he only named Steve Grillo. I was like, who's that? That's you.
But the funny thing is, I see one of the few times. I could probably say I don't even remember asking for an autograph from anybody ever because that's why I stayed as long as I did.
Yeah.
But when Mark Hamill came on, I was like,
No, this is
Can
Mark
I
Hamill.
Yeah.
like some stuff in there. Gary was cool. He goes, look, I know you're a big fan. He said, but I heard Mark's a fan. He said, but we got to feel him out. And he came in with his wife Mary Lou and his son Nathan Griffin and his daughter Chelsea. And Chelsea had to be like 4. Chelsea's now his manager. She was like
Right.
4. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? So, it turns out he was a huge fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he left his book in the studio,
Oh wow.
and I was like, I could have went in and got it, but I was like, I gotta wait for a commercial break. Could I take you and your family for a little tour on the radio station? And I did, and it was like that's where I kind of like got to know them. But the one most amazing thing that I'll never forget for the rest of my life is I was standing there waiting for Howard to go to break, and Mark goes, "I didn't get your name." I said, "Oh, Steve Grillo." He goes, "Oh my God, you're Grillo?" I was like, like what? Luke Skywalker knows who the fuck I am.
That's
What?
hilarious.
Luke
That's
Skywalker.
great.
Yeah,
That's,
that-
that's the vocal Joker from the
Yeah,
Batman
oh
movie.
my God,
Are
yeah.
you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is great
Yeah.
though, and it's funny so many ways because you wouldn't expect somebody like him to say, "Oh,
No, never,
Like, you're
never.
so-and-so? Like,
Like what it was like to go home and tell my friends. I was like, oh yeah, well, Luke Skywalker knows who I am. Luke, like I was like, I rubbed it right in there, you know.
Luke
Like,
Skywalker knows who I am.
so it
while
was
I
pretty
smoke
cool.
this
So
Skywalker OG.
I wound up becoming friends with him and his family over the years. And one of the my favorite stories that I tell in the book is that you know, a lot of people probably don't realize is Mark is actually an accomplished theater actor.
Right.
And he's
Yes.
done a lot of Broadway. And so back right after he got done with Star Wars, he did a lot of Broadway. And so they had this really dope-ass apartment on Central Park West
Nice.
that was like 5 bedrooms that had like maids' quarters and shit. Like when Mark really cashed in from Star Wars, he invested into an apartment so he could be closer to Broadway.
Thank you, George Lucas.
There you
Yeah,
go.
no shit.
But one quick thing, because before anything else, because I mentioned earlier you're known as a douche. So
Oh, okay,
do you
yeah.
want to give context of what that is? Because-
Sure. Yeah.
because-
No. There's a fucked up story behind it, and it just goes to like, it really goes to like ungrateful people, people that are just not, like the people that like they think that, you know. You guys want to go to dinner, right? I'll take you to dinner.
Right.
If I say I'm taking you to dinner, that means I'm paying, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm paying, right? So are you gonna order 25 drinks?
Hell no.
No.
Okay, great.
Maybe 2.
Yeah, that's respectful.
Right.
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 Yeah, you don't order the fucking steak and lobster. You order like chicken parmesan.
Right.
I'm a cheap.
So you just
I'm a cheap date.
what? That's good to know.
So,
So
thanks, Caroline, for mentioning that.
so I did the intern show. I guess because you know when Howard went to Sirius, I think he was it was his dream to have like 2 channels of programming 24 hours a day. I think he overstepped his boundaries on top of the fact that he also got a truckload of money and just didn't really want to work that hard when you have to realize you're programming 24 hours of 2 channels.
Right.
Right.
So in the beginning, if everybody remembers, everybody Jackie had a show, Chuck Zito had a show, you know,
Chuck
like the
Zito.
interns had a show.
Everyone.
So because he had to fill 24 hours a day of like, and it drove him nuts because he had no control. And when you're an egomaniac, narcissist, billionaire, and you don't have control, that'll bug you out.
Yeah, that's true.
So he spread himself way too thin in the beginning, and so but the interns had a show, and I was the one intern that wound up staying there was I forget his name, Steve or so, I think it might have been Steve.
Steve, the intern.
Yeah, Steve the intern. He hosted.
Not to get confused with you. So.
Yeah, not that. No, I'm a douche. Remember that. But this is where the douche comes from.
Yes.
Steve, the intern, invited me onto the show with that group of interns that were for that season, and my friend just happened to get a job managing Mr. Biggs, which is 10 blocks from where we are right now,
Right.
on 10th Avenue and 43rd Street.
Right.
Less than 10 blocks. I would say we'll go there, but no, I'm not buying you guys drinks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Things are a little thin right now until the book comes out.
I got
No,
booze.
no,
I
Yeah.
got
just
booze at
kidding.
the house.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding, but I'm not. Anyway, I said to the interns, I said, my friend just started managing at this place, Mr. Biggs. If you want to come down there, I'm going there for drinks. So these self-righteous douchebags,
Yes.
like literally for real, thought by me inviting them down. I just said, I'm going there for drinks if you want to meet me.
Right.
It doesn't mean I'm buying you drinks.
That's an open
Yeah.
invitation.
Okay, I didn't
Yes,
say
exactly.
like what did I say in the beginning? I'll take you to dinner. That means I'm taking you to dinner. That means I'm paying for it. I didn't say I'm taking you for drinks. I said, do you want to meet me for drinks?
Right.
So these interns assume that because I said that.
Rounds on Steve. Woo.
Yeah. But instead of just going, oh, I'll have a couple of drinks, they were ordering top shelf liquor. Like everything was Patron. Like it was like this is before, like this is when Patron's like now $18 a shot. Back then it was like $14 a shot. It was kind of unheard of. Like if you ordered Patron, you had money.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. These kids, I was like, wow, these kids must be fucking rich.
Seriously.
They keep ordering all this expensive fucking liquor.
Right.
And then not on that, they're ordering, oh, let's get another order of wings. Oh, I'll have 2 more burgers. I'll take a burger home. I go,
But not realizing that it was going to be on.
on them.
Yeah.
On them.
So I was like, wow, because not for nothing. If you're over 21 years old and you're out with me, that means you are able to take care of your own shit.
Yeah, I would assume.
No, but when the bill, I bought a round of drinks, which cost me almost $100.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, my friend who was the manager gave them like a 20% discount, took $160-something off the bill, but in the end, the bill was still like almost $500
Jeez
Wow.
Louise.
because they thought they were like they thought they were taking advantage of me. So and I'm going, I thought you kids were rich. So they had to call Tracy up, Tracy Millman, who I infamously had to fight with on the air. She had to come down here and pay the bill.
Oh.
So that's why she was mad at me, but she thought that I took advantage of the interns, which
When
I
in
didn't.
reality,
Yeah.
In reality, these kids took advantage of me.
Exactly.
So when, not only that, so when I went on the air she was going off on me. Okay, that's where the douche came in.
Yeah.
Okay, and the top shelf liquor thing came in. But I didn't realize until I heard later on that Howard turned my mic off.
Oh.
So I didn't have any, he just let Tracy go off on me, and my microphone was off.
Oh.
And I didn't realize that until
And it
I
just made
listened.
you look like a douche.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
all
exactly.
That make it wow.
Yeah.
Reality.
So I was there defending myself, screaming and calling her horrible names that I wouldn't call her now. But
Wow, exactly.
That's how the whole douche thing came.
Right,
Because
exactly.
these interns thought they were taking advantage of me.
Right, exactly. So, but before we go,
Yes.
shout out to 924 Photos, first things first.
Absolutely.
And he's there, doing the controls. And we shot some behind the
Jermaine's
scenes.
in the house.
Yeah, exactly. So we're showing some behind the scenes, of what we've been doing here, and Steve coming into the building. So let's just check that out, and we'll be right back.
Cool.
Hey, Steve, how you doing, man?
Oh, much better now that I'm here, motherfucker. Let's do this.
All right, let's go.
All right, here we go.
You.
Time to cause some problems. Amazon. And I'm self-publishing it, and a little bit of a setback, but still, it wasn't. Real sex, that's a wrap.
Yeah. All right, guys, welcome back. That was a great behind the scenes. Just Steve coming into the building. What do you think of this building, by the way? Because
Smoking, bro. This is a dope-ass studio. I'm a little goddamn jealous.
yeah, it's from way better than the 59th Street one. I tell you that.
Well, the
it's no longer there.
was like sort of open. This is more definitely like a podcast forum.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
This is kind of what I had before the pandemic. I had a nice setup on 50th Street. It was just as nice as this. I had like someone like that was a producer, my friend. It was his spot, and he was kind enough to let me do everything for free. That's where I did my Aftershock XL radio show from. I had some great guests. I was getting like 120,000 views an episode.
Yeah, Aftershock. It's still on YouTube if you
Yeah, I'm gonna be Aftershock XL. It's coming back. I got to come back now that I see something like this. I'm a little more amenable to like maybe making something like this happen for me.
Yeah.
But, like I miss doing it. It's sort of just like my second nature. Like I always say, like doctors go to school for 8 years. I went to the Harvard Medical Radio School of 8 years. So this is my background. This is where I feel the most comfortable.
All right.
You know,
Yeah. So, and I remember Aftershock, one of my favorite parts is where you were talking about Rodney Dangerfield and his inexperience in Caddyshack, which I love a good Caddyshack story. So.
Oh yeah. So if you didn't know Carolyn, he didn't. He was so used to doing a stand up that like when you tell a joke, people laugh. Mm-hmm. So the first day on set, he was like, oh, my arm, it's broken. So nobody laughed. And he said, that's it, I'm quitting. I'm out of here. I'm walking out of here. And they were like, why? They're like, nobody laughed. I'm not funny. And he goes, they were like, Rodney, the sound is rolling. The whole
Like we're live.
crew was hysterical laughing,
Yeah, 'cause-
holding their mouth, trying not to laugh because
Yeah,
it's so funny.
because he's not used to being around a film set. He was
Right.
more around a crowd in a comedy club.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Hey everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
So that was his first feature role. That was so.
So what I do love about the Rodney Dangerfield is the fact that apparently he always had a vial of cocaine around his neck.
That makes him.
Yeah. He was like he always had. So here's another little interesting. So I don't know if you remember, there's an infamous story about me and Mike Gangi. Our first apartment was
What?
first it was Jackie the Joke Man's, then it was Stuttering John's, and then it was mine and Gangi's, and we eventually got thrown. Like the building found out that we were there illegally. And we had to leave. But before it was Jackie the Joke Man's, and if you remember, this was 65th between First and York.
Yeah.
Down the block was Dangerfield's Comedy Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the main comics there was a gentleman by the name of Dennis Blair, and that was Dennis Blair's apartment.
Oh.
Nice.
So when we had to move, I went through like this closet, and I guess who wrote Easy Money?
Right.
Dennis Blair.
Oh.
And I found a bunch of scripts, handwritten corrections of Easy Money that I still have in my apartment.
That's crazy.
And
Wow.
Easy Money is possibly one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, that's the one
You
with the
know what I'm
dollar sign.
saying?
Yeah. So,
Oh, Rose, there's a Messerschmitt in the kitchen. Go clean it up.
so now with that said,
Yeah.
we're here. You're here to promote this book that you've been talking about for some
Yes.
time with me.
Yeah.
And now,
Gorilla parts.
yes.
Gorilla parts. Well, yeah, I had to give a little
Yeah, you gotta
FU to Howard. You know what I'm saying?
just a smidge.
A
you know
little
what I mean?
smidge. Private parts, gorilla parts. At first, it was going to be public parts.
Mm-hmm.
But I started to understand at some point that I'm going to have to incorporate these words that are viral, like douche and gorilla and top shelf, and somehow into.
Yep, and there it is, right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
So you could see, top shelf stories
Now.
from the world's most famous.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, see, there it is, right here. Look.
Yep, gorilla
So
parts.
now the funny part, that's a picture of me when I was 12 years old, little fucking wise ass, right?
Aw, little
Because
Steve.
that's my ex-wife is. She calls me LBS, little boy Steve.
Aw.
Oh, look
So
at that.
so that picture, one of my very dear friends, Jonathan Martinez, he's a combat veteran, Army Ranger,
Thank
right?
you first, sir.
So he goes through a lot of physical therapy. So I have my place upstate, and he was at the physical therapist, and he was like, "Oh, I was at, normal conversation on a Tuesday. Like, what did you do this weekend? Oh, I was at my friend's place upstate in the Catskills. Where? Wurtsboro. Really? Wurtsboro? Mount Vernon Road. Yeah. Turns out that girl took that picture of me when I was 12 years old as physical therapist.
Get out.
Yeah.
Because my last name's Grillo, but my mother's maiden name is Cox, and we were the big
Sorry, I
Irish.
didn't mean to be-
Yeah, no, it's not the first time.
Hey.
But we were the big Irish family there, and she goes, "I don't remember you." I go, "Well, you probably remember my Aunt Maureen, my Aunt Doreen, my Aunt Karen. I was the nephew that they used to have to I was the tag along."
Right.
She goes, "Oh my God, I have a picture of you,"
Oh my God.
and that's the picture.
And
Wow,
the
that's
famous
awesome.
picture.
So yeah,
And I'm going, take the fucking picture. I was annoyed.
Like, take it already.
And
So-
if you look, I have a St. Jude on my shirt right there.
St. Jude.
I love it.
So anyway, so with that, the book is coming out very soon, on March 1st, right?
Yeah.
Or you're
yeah.
working around the date
Well,
at this
yeah,
point.
Well, as of right now, it should be able to pre-order on Amazon, and I'll have the Audible up before the whole entire big release. It's supposed to be March 1st. We had a couple of correction things. It could be still March 1st or the Ides of March, which
Right.
are kind of fun date to
Yes, I
say.
agree.
So March 15th, but it'll be out there. It's all those stories I told and a lot more. It's so funny because I had to. I had I call them my nieces. They're not blood nieces, but they're like 15 years old, and they were like eagerly awaiting each chapter. They kind of like were my little part of inspiration.
Yeah.
And then it got to rated R, and I was like, no more.
No more. That's it.
yeah, I was like,
That's the cutoff.
yeah.
Right
So
there.
I got about good 6 chapters in before it got filthy, and my
like,
mom
okay.
and my mom had to read it too.
Yeah,
so-
exactly.
That wasn't fun.
So Steve, this book is coming out soon. Looking forward to it, man. But thank you, Steve, for coming on. You're awesome.
Anything you ever want else. We always bump into each other on the subway. It's so
Yeah,
weird.
so it's always meant to be. So Caroline, where can we find you first?
And you can find me on linktree.com/goddessofmusic87, where you can find all of my social media content, including my band, In the Next Life, at linktree.com/In the Next Life.
And she's
Wow,
in the
that's
band.
a lot. I
And
didn't know you
Steve,
were in a band. I would definitely come and check you out.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And Steve, where can we find you on social media?
I'm Gorilla Vader on Instagram. TikTok, I think it's just Steve Grillo. Facebook is Steve Grillo. And X is Steve Gorilla.
Gotcha.
Cool.
So I don't know why I didn't know I didn't know it was going to be this important when it comes down to the social media.
Yeah.
I would have been a little more consistent. I didn't really pay attention to it. Now all of a sudden it's my goddamn life.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
So with that, thank you, Steve, for coming on once again. Hopefully, you come on again.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
when the book comes on, of
And
course.
look out for Gorilla Parts by Steve.
Not Private Parts.
Gorilla.
Not Private Parts by Howard Stern. Gorilla
Yep.
Parts by Steve Grillo.
Yes.
There you go.
It's coming out March, very, very soon.
Yes.
All right. So
Thank
with
you
that-
so much for having me.
No
seriously.
problem. We'll definitely see you guys next week in an all-new episode of WTF TV. And Steve, once again, for coming on.
1,000 thank yous.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.